today. Shout out to Danny Wimmer Presents. MLB trade deadline day.
Yeah.
The deadline's at 3 o'clock, so about 5 hours, 4 hours and 57 minutes. The A's this morning, news came down that the A's dealt closer Mason Miller, all-world closer Mason Miller, to the San Diego Padres. Mason Miller and JP Sears, friend of the program, got dealt to the San Diego Padres for Leodalis DeVries, the Padres' number one prospect. He's a shortstop. And then right-handed pitchers, Braden Nett. He was the number 3 prospect in the Padres system. Henry Baez, the number 13 prospect in the Padres system. And Eduardo Nunez, the number 17 prospect in the Padres system. I'm not going to dive deep on each of those players because, frankly, I don't care yet.
Yeah.
DeVries is a great prospect. Depending on where you looked, he's as high as number 3 in all of baseball. He's an 18-year-old shortstop currently playing in high A. So my guess is he will be assigned to Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't. This is tough because when the A's trade a good player, and this is not any fan's fault. This is the A's fault, explicitly and only their fault.
Mm-hmm.
They have spent the last 25 years doing this. This player gets good. We're not going to be able to afford him. He's gone. There's a couple issues I have with this. And the reason I don't think that the Mason Miller thing falls into that category necessarily. One, he was still under team control for several years.
For a long time.
Which is part of the reason that people have such an issue that they traded him away. Like, not only is he one of the best closers in the sport, but you had him under team control. He wasn't even expensive yet.
No.
But here's where I kind of land on this. You're getting 3 pitching prospects and a really good shortstop prospect in this deal.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in a trade, I will go see how the other fan base is reacting. And Padres fans are melting down right now.
Oh, yeah.
They're not happy that they gave away all of this for Mason Miller and JP Sears. So I personally don't view this as, oh my God, look at the classic cheap A's like they are. But I'm separating this because they can't get to Mason Miller right now. They can't. It's nice to have a closer, but if you've given up 9 runs, you're very rarely going to need your closer.
Yeah.
So this was an asset to me that if you're going to move him for this kind of haul, teams don't just trade away their top 3 prospects. Like, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge haul of prospects. 3 of them are pitchers, and the A's put themselves in position to hopefully in a year or 2 have a better pitching staff than they have now. So I get the consternation with like, oh my God, Mason Miller, he throws the ball so fast. But hey man, if somebody's going to way overpay for a player like that, all right. That's kind of, I don't hate it.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, the problem the A's have right now is that they have all of these young bats that are coming up, all these position players, and they don't have any pitching prospects at all. So in this deal, you're able to get, again, their number 3 prospect, which is Nett. Henry Baez has pitched extremely well at the AA level this year. He's got a 1.97 ERA in 20 starts.
Man.
So that's a guy who isn't that far away. And to be honest with you, he'll probably be in the starting rotation before the end of the season.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if he's not.
Yeah, Eduardo Nunez. He is a pitcher who's actually been up with the big club. He's pitched a handful of innings of 4 2/3 innings. Like, this is a guy who's on the brink. Like, the A's just have this problem. They don't have any starters at all. And they don't have any prospects of getting starters. And so you went out in the draft and you drafted a couple of starters, hoping that they might be able to make it up reasonably soon. But man, you have to figure that aspect of this out. If you're not going to pay $20 million a year for starting pitching, then you better have a pipeline like they used to.
Right.
And so I hate the trade because I feel like Mason Miller is part of a young core of players. He's got like
Sure.
less than 2 years of MLB experience. He wouldn't be a free agent until 2030.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I understand, especially with Sears. I'm just gonna put him off to the side because, like, I like Sears. He's a good dude,
Good player, not an untouchable player.
but like he's a 4th or 5th starter on a good team,
Right.
and so that's fine. But Miller is just lightning, and I think it's easier to find a closer than it is to find a handful of starters.
I agree.
And so sometimes it's going to cost something to get something. And I'm just, it's a bummer because you like having the guy in Major League Baseball who has almost 300 pitches over 100 miles an hour.
Sure.
He makes things fun.
His ERA is up this year. His strikeouts per 9 are down. His walks per 9 are up. His walks and hits per innings pitch are up. His fielding independent pitching, FIP, is up. I don't know that the A's necessarily viewed him as like an ascending player and more like, he kind of peaked as a rookie. Guys start to figure him out. And he's a good player. He throws the ball really hard, but he's not going to be one of these closers with an 0.86 ERA.
Yeah, and he's 26, going on 27.
Right.
For a guy who is, only has a certain amount of years of experience, he still isn't, he's not like a 22, 23-year-old prospect. So, yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of this one. I definitely feel like when you're an A's fan, you're conditioned to just like shake your head and go, I can't believe they just traded another player.
1,000%.
Yeah. And this is, so Sacramento knows, this is the full A's experience. You have good players, they get traded. But like DeVries is listed, like Jeff Passan is calling him the number 3 prospect in baseball.
Right. This isn't
not just the Padres' number 1 prospect, the number 3 prospect in baseball, an 18-year-old shortstop.
Yes.
Like, that's a very, very nice player to get.
Yeah.
And then 3 pitchers that 2 of which are either at, they're almost ready.
Right.
And then one that isn't going to be, it's not going to take that long for him to get to the bigs.
It's kind of the same. And I get, they just extended Brent Rooker. They just extended Lawrence Butler. You would think that while they're here in Sacramento, Kurtz and Wilson aren't going anywhere. You'd at least think. I just don't. This feels more like, this is a good front office move. This is good business, considering the prospects you're getting back for you said he's almost 27?
Yeah.
He's 27 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I get it, but this goes back to, we talk about this with the Kings. Like, man, there's players that you really like. Malik Monk, player you really like, best 6 man in the sport, a playmaker, scoring, does a little bit of everything. But hey, you know what? For the future of the franchise, maybe it's better to move them. And again, I'm not saying, let me reel that in. I'm not saying you move Malik Monk just to move him and to make you better. If you can move that player for assets that make you better down the line, you do it. And I think that's what the A's are looking at here. They're not looking at 2025. I don't even know if they're looking at 2026.
No, they're looking at whatever that date is a couple of years from now when they think they're moving to Vegas, whether that happens or not. I will say
2034.
Yeah. I'll also add this. Like, the A's are 15 games under 500.
Yes.
This is what happens when you're a bad team. Your players get traded. And I know that's uncomfortable and that's crappy, but you become a minor league system for the teams who are successful.
Correct.
Like, I don't, the one year the A's went out and at the trade deadline picked up Harold Baines from the White Sox, one of the great DHs of all time, and Willie McGee from the Cardinals, who won the NL batting title that year, even though he finished the season on the A's. Yeah. He batted over 350, won the NL batting title as a member of the A's. But you're a minor league system for the rest of the league until you become a team that's good enough that you're not. And so this is what happens. I think, like, being an A's fan, watching them for so long, I'm jaded by what happens at this time of year. But this trade actually makes some sense.
It does, and that's what I'm like I said, I know that the A's fan, any trade you're gonna bristle, but dude, consider that at the next trade deadline, Mason Miller is going to be almost 28 instead of almost 27. His numbers are going the wrong way this year. If they continue going the wrong way next year, you're going to have a 28-year-old closer that nobody wants anymore. You're capitalized. Like this to me is good business. Now, this is not the Mark Mulder trade. This is not the Tim Hudson trade or the Barry Zito trade or the Josh Donaldson trade. I know I'm missing some in here.
Danny Herron, Gio Gonzalez.
Pick your favorite. This is not that.
Yeah.
So I don't, like I said, I get it. Mason Miller throw ball fast is fun to watch. His 104 mile an hour strikeout pitch to Sean Murphy was electric.
Mm-hmm.
The strikeout numbers are good. The numbers of 2 strikes are out of control. But then you kind of start looking across the board. It's like,
Yeah, and then I'll bring up like Nunez, who has pitched in the big leagues this year. Between Double A and Triple A this season, he's got 56 strikeouts in 35 innings. The dude throws gas. So I think this is going to be one of those players who probably steps right in and maybe gets an opportunity. You might be able to replace your closer with a budget closer that, again, has a bunch of years of eligibility and start this thing all over again. But in the meantime, you got what could be 2 other starting pitchers, like very close down the line, and a phenomenal shortstop prospect.
Yeah. I think that means they may say Jacob Wilson is a second baseman long term.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. We can cross that bridge when we get to it in a few years. Also, the Padres, real quick, just from their side, they are super going for it. Their bullpen is already sick. Now you throw Mason Miller there. That's dangerous in October. That helps in October. If you're going short rotation and you only need those guys to get you 5, that's big time. The trade deadline's at 3 p.m. We'll follow anything else A's or Giants related. The Giants traded Tyler Rogers yesterday. Got back a couple of top 15 prospects from the Mets. Good business there by Buster Posey for a guy who's going to be a free agent in the offseason. So for the A's, I think everybody, I think outside of Kurtz, Wilson, maybe Muncy, Butler, and Rooker, you're probably not. Everybody's on the table, I would assume.
Yeah. They have a lot of guys that look like they're just ready to be traded now.
It's going to be really, really awkward if Luis Severino is still on the A's at 3:01 p.m.
Yeah.
It might get a little weird. I think he's been gearing up. His bags are probably packed right now.
Yeah, but if I'm the A's, I'm shopping Andahar. I'm shopping Urias, Urshela, Springs, all these guys. If you can go get more pitching prospects, go get them.
Yep, absolutely. All right, that's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. Joe Brazil's with us. We're the Insiders. We're sponsored by Jiffy Lube. Speaking of roster moves, the 49ers made some of those. We will talk about that.